When Donald Trump won in 2016, I remember reading a Democratic pundit, who was actually very, very anti-Trump. But he said, one of the reasons Trump won, he said, there's a lot of people in this country are wondering how the term male became a accusation rather than a description. And so all of the things that, you typically look to the men that created Western culture and created democracy and human rights and all the things, they're now considered to be the people who only were able to achieve what they achieved because they kept other people down. So they've taken the achievements of civilization and turned those into things that were only accomplished because other people, women especially, were kept down and kept from competing and kept from being in the... Ironically to me, so often men are being held accountable for lacking in areas that they invented. So the whole idea of human rights itself was invented by a bunch of men who are now, they're the dead white males who are now being theoretically lynched because they're not didn't believe enough in human rights. It was all the men who created the prosperity that allowed feminism to come into being. It's not an accident that these great women leaders like Catherine the Great and Elizabeth of England and Maria Theresa of Austria and all these, they were absolute rulers, but they did very little and nothing for women. And I'm not saying it's because they didn't care, it's because there wasn't much you could do, because society at that time was people lived so close to the edge that male and female roles had to be clearly defined just for people to survive. So it was with the beginning of the development of things like gynecology and things like washing machines and dryers and all these things that frankly had a lot to do with liberating women. I'm not saying more, but economics played a very, very big role in women's equality, probably as much as the feminists who labored so hard for it.